Manchester City are the current champions of England and Europe, so as expected, a lot of eyes will be on them going into the 2023-24 season. Clubs will be looking for how to stop them, fans will be looking to see if they'll maintain the standard, the media will be looking to see if they fall off. Basically, everybody both in England and in Europe will be focused on Pep Guardiola and his boys this season. So the big question is, how are Manchester City preparing for all of that? Before I give you the answers to that question, could you quickly give this video a thumbs up and subscribe to the channel? Done? Okay, let's now look at how Manchester City are preparing for the new season. After a very successful 2022-23 season, the entire Man City team had weeks off to relax and celebrate. And how did they do that? Well, Jack Grealish partied and drank for days non-stop. Pep Guardiola went on a vacation to Egypt with his family. Kevin De Bruyne and Nathan Ake were seen enjoying their holiday by the water with Virgil van Dijk. Erling Haaland was spotted with supermodel Ivana Knoll in Ibiza. You know, everybody basically just did their own thing to celebrate the tremendous success from last season, and to relax a bit before training resumes ahead of the new season. But while the relaxation was going on, business was also going on. The club is aware that, if they continue to compete at the highest level, then they surely have to keep things fresh in the dressing room. There's always the risk that, after a club has won all there is to win, the players will be unmotivated to go hard again the following season. And this is one of the reasons clubs always have to do a lot of business after they experience huge successes. Already, they've said goodbye to Riyad Mahrez and club captain Ilkay Gungogan. And they could still say goodbye to Kyle Walker, Aymeric Laporte, Joao Cancelo and Bernardo Silva before the window closes. In terms of arrivals, they've completed the signing of Mateo Kovacic. They put in a bid for Declan Rice, but they saw him move to Arsenal instead. They're reportedly close to completing the signing for Josko Gvardiol, and we hear that they just entered a race with Chelsea for Crystal Palace's Michael Olise. That's a lot of activity happening in the summer transfer window for Man City, and that alone should show you that they have no intention of resting on their laurels in the upcoming season. About Bernardo Silva, the club still want him, but it seems the player is looking for a new challenge, so he might leave. It's a similar case with Gundogan. Pep wanted him to remain so badly, but he chose to move to Barcelona. Kyle Walker is another guy who might leave this summer. Reports say that he is on Bayern Munich's radar, and having already achieved so much with Man City, Walker might be looking to take on new challenges abroad. Pep Guardiola said in an interview that he has talked with Walker, but we will only have to see what happens next. He added, though, that he only wants what's best for his players. But when asked about the transfer window as a whole, what did the gaffer say? I think many things are going to happen. I cannot answer. Oh well, that alone should tell you that, even with the business that has already been done in the window, Man City are still not done. There's more to come, so watch out. And you would imagine that if Walker and Cancelo leave, Man City would definitely have to sign a fullback, or maybe even two this summer. Rumours say that Pep might be eyeing Achraf Hakimi, but we'll only have to see if that's true or not. What about Kylian Mbappe? Well, the door has been shut on that one since, yes, PSG have put the France national team captain on the market. And even though we know that Man City are one of the handful of clubs who can actually afford him, Pep Guardiola has already said that the club won't be going for Mbappe, so City's left side of attack will be looking pretty much the same next season. But so far, there have been talks from fans and some parts of the media about Man City possibly getting it wrong by letting so many first-team players leave this summer. But is it much different from what they did in preparation for last season? I mean, last summer, Man City said goodbye to Gabriel Jesus, Alexander Zinchenko and Raheem Sterling, and each of these players were even sold to close competitors in the league. People saw all this and said that the club was being stupid with their transfers, but what did Man City do? They went to the market and got Manuel Akanji, Calvin Phillips, Sergio Gomez, Maximo Perrone, Stefan Ortega and Erling Haaland. Now, was every single one of those purchases a hit? Definitely not. But there were like 3 good arrivals there, and they were very important in Man City winning the treble last season. And if you look at things closely, Man City are pretty much doing the same thing this summer. Gundogan and Mahrez are gone. Cancelo, Walker, Bernardo Silva and Laporte could go too. But replacements are already being signed. You could say that Kovacic replaces Gundogan, Olise would replace Mahrez, Gvardiol would replace Laporte, and if they throw in a good fullback in the mix too, great window completed. And by the way, You should know that Man City play a little differently now. They started the 2022-23 season with a traditional 4-3-3 formation, but they ended it with a 3-4-3 formation with a box midfield, and we expect that they'll be taking that new formation into the new season. So, as they prepare for the 2023-24 season, they're probably preparing with this new formation in mind, and that will definitely inform their decisions in the window. It's probably why they put in a bid for Rice, because these days, they play with 2 holding midfielders. But then, thanks to the evolution of John Stones, they don't even need another holding midfielder. The English midfielder can continue doing the job he did alongside Rodri towards the end of last season. If the transfer window goes as planned for City, then they could line up with a new-looking 11 next season. Of course, Edison will remain in goal, but the defensive 3 could be different. You'd expect Ruben Dias to be a staple, but he could then be joined by Gvardiol and Ake, with Akanji on the bench as backup. The midfield would then have Stones and Rodri at the base, and then Kovacic and De Bruyne ahead of them, while the front 3 will definitely be Haaland down the middle, flanked by Grealish or Foden on the left, and maybe Michael Olise on the right. If they don't get Olise, then Pep could maybe explore the option of using Alvarez or Foden on the right. Either way, I reckon they're good. But then, you can't exactly predict what path Pep would take, so all these are just mere speculations. Anyway, in preparation for the new season, Manchester City are currently on a pre-season tour of Asia. They played Yokohama F. Marinos and Bayern Munich in Tokyo, Japan, and then Atletico Madrid in Seoul, South Korea. After their Asia tour, they returned to England, where their season starts earlier than everybody else's, with the Community Shield game against Arsenal on the 6th of August in London. 5 days after that, they face off against their legend, Vincent Kompany, in the opening game of the Premier League against Burnley. And then, just 4 days later, it's the UEFA Super Cup game against Sevilla. So, as Man City prepare for the new season, they surely have to bear in mind that things will be coming in thick and fast for them once the season officially kicks off. So they better be fully ready from day one if they want to achieve as much success as they did in the previous season. For me, it looks like they have their preparations on lock. These guys are really about to dominate England and Europe yet again. But what do you guys think will happen? Will City be able to replicate the success they enjoyed last season? Will they fall off? Or will the season just be decent for them? Tell me what you think in the comments.